What's a good word, everyone? I'm Kenny Varner, the owner of SportsHaveBalls.com. We're going to talk about overreaction. I have seen this word being used a little bit more often. I do like say stuff about ESPN, Fox Sports, and all those guys, but I do give them a little bit of credit for starting to bring that into the psyche. But I don't think people still overreact way too much. I know a person that will talk about Kansas City or something, and they have like a off game, they win 17-13. Oh, they're going to have to play better than that if they're going to beat Buffalo. They're going to have to play better than that if they beat this team. It's like, well, yeah, and I think they know that, but they take it into they're not that good because the time that I saw them play, they weren't that good. Think about how many times you watch a team play. Like you watch your favorite team. We all watched the 2025, 24, 25 national title games in January. But the next national champion, the Montana Grizzlies, we all have our favorite teams, the Grizz, the Raiders, Yankees, Syracuse. But how many teams do you watch from start to finish when you actually watch the game? And so so many people very often are relying on highlights or, just talking heads that could be talking at a bar, but they just happen to, dress up and they're on ESPN. And you're relying on that. And so people are always, even when they're talking about, dude, that guy's overreacting. You got to know that it's a show, when it's an ESPN show, that they want people to disagree. So you'll have the fake disagreements and want to just go with the overreacting. But the truth is, when you see it with your buddy, when you see it with your brother, when you see it with your sister, when you see it with your dad, whatever the case may be, people love to react on one thing. And they just look at it and go, oh, man, they better do better than that. Oh, they lost 2 in a row. They're horrible. Or a team that plays a perfect game or has everything go its way, and they're considered the best. A good example is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has learned this year. It's like when Lamar Jackson plays this coming up year, 2024, and fails in the playoffs again, I'm just going to be laughing. And if he doesn't, then people can bring this video back and laugh at me, and that's fine. But the bottom line is people are like, oh, there's a different look in Lamar Jackson's eye. Watch out, here they come, and they get blasted, of course, in the playoffs again. But no matter how good they look in the regular season, you got to do it in the playoffs. And Lamar never has. And that's just like an example. So when you see Lamar making electrifying plays and we're betting and winning money on him, we're great. We're not married to any team except the Raiders, but that will never affect our betting. I bet against the Raiders plenty of times. I think the last 3 years, every game against Kansas City, I put a money line parlay against the Raiders and lost last year on Christmas, which was kind of hilarious. But look how that game they lost. It's like people overreacted to that. Oh, my God, the Chiefs at home lost to the Raiders. It's like, let's take a look at that game. Oh, a couple of defensive touchdowns. And just weird stuff can happen in games that allow a team to win, that allow a team to only win by 3. When you're doing – that's when it's even worse. Oh, the 49ers won by 6, and they only won by 4. And then Seattle came in, and they needed this to win. So you're complaining because they won. Got it. People love to do that in college football. They overreact to a team not winning by enough, and then they wonder why teams run up the score. At least now you don't have to do that nowadays because we got 12-team playoff coming where Syracuse will be involved. But it's especially in basketball and football, the overreaction. You know what another key overreaction is? And it's done by the sports books because they can get away with it because you won't care. When there's rest. LeBron's not playing, or LeBron and AD isn't playing, and then the line goes from -4 from +4 for the Lakers to +9. And a lot of the times when people miss a spot start or they're injured for a game, people step it up a level. You get better energy, and this really works in the NBA because sports books really overreact to people not playing in a spot start. Oh, he's not playing. Jokic's not playing. Bad example because he always plays. But Giannis isn't playing. Oh, the spread goes from Bucks -11 to Bucks -1. And it's on one player. I know it's an outstanding player, but it does it with secondary players now too, because they always have players that need to take a day off. They need rest. I mean, that's how they do it. Popovich created that. Popovich created the everyone needs to rest because the playoffs are the only thing matters thing. So in the regular season, you can take advantage of these things because you can take even more advantage because they're playing days off. You know, it works when, he twisted an ankle, he's not going to play in 2 days, and they have to scramble around. It still works. People overreact, but a lot happens in college football, in the NFL. Even the NFL is a super long season. How many times I heard Kansas City's not Kansas City this year? No. Mahomes has never won on the road in the playoffs. Never played a game on the road. We'll see how it goes. How'd that work for you? Because these teams are planning for the playoffs, the good ones, the real good ones. Like I'm a Yankee fan, and all I look is like, okay, let's just see where we are at the playoffs. I don't go, the Yankees are gonna take this thing. Look at them; they're so dominant, and this and that. Everything changes by the playoffs, and maybe they will be the dominant team and will be the favorite and will win it all. But when you look at it, you know, from a macro situation instead of a micro situation. When you look at the micro situation, then Kansas City's not – the Chiefs aren't going to be up for every game. No one is going to be up for every game. And then there's matchups. They look so – did you see Kansas City 2 weeks in a row? Did you see Baltimore? Lamar is just at another level. Then you watch people talk about him. What you really should be watching is the North Carolina beat writer. That's way more than, oh my God. They're going to give all the praise in the world. The Stephen A. Smiths of the world are going to be like, these guys are the best of all time. They lose a couple games, they're the worst of all time. That I'm so ashamed of them. What are they doing out there? This guy's missing. Justin Tucker missed the 2 field goals in a game. Oh my God. The world's coming to an end. So they can't count on him anymore. People go from being the best to the worst. There's never a middle ground. No one ever says Cousins is a solid quarterback when he is, or at least he was with the Vikings. I don't know, going forward, we'll see. But he's a solid quarterback. But they go with the can't win on prime time garbage, which has nothing to do with anything. There's that emotional betting coming back into things. People overreact to the silliest things. You're telling me if Kirk Cousins was, you know, you'll see how he plays with the Falcons. But are you going to be like, oh, primetime Kirk Cousins, let's bet against him just automatically? If you do that type of thing and you go, look at the record, look at all the times that you do that type of clown betting and lose. No one does that. They go, look what I won. Look, see, I'm on Twitter. I win 83% of the time on Tuesdays in November. But getting back to the overreaction, it's just people want to crown teams champions or say they're not as good right out of the gate. It works. It really works with our Montana Grizzlies, especially Bobby Hauck's first time around. I remember being disappointed after a game because we beat a Division II team 17-10 a bunch of years ago. Bobby Hauck's first time, and my buddy goes, they better do better than that going forward. I was like, I know, they better. And I was a little bit in that mindset. And when you watch Bobby Hauck coach, you know what's going on. It's like you don't even care. Like I'll watch them play Fort Lewis or something and win 20-10. I'm like, he got people to play. A lot of people played, which is going to be when you build a program, when teams are building a program and you know they're building a program, then it's a lot easier. When you see Harbaugh, he's building a program. When you see the really good coaches, Saban building a program, uh, what's his face at Georgia, building a program, doing the same type of stuff Saban does. You can see what's going on. It's like they're not worried about beating your point spread. So, it's funny because when you see it from a fan perspective, like if I look at the Grizz and I'm looking at the Montana State Bobcats and they beat someone that's really bad 20-10, I'm like, oh, what's wrong with them? I don't know what they're building, and we're not going to bet on those games. I was like, oh, is that a thing or is it not a thing? I used to think that was a thing. Now I'm like, well, Montana kind of does the same thing. They build their program. So these guys got a lot of experience. So when you come back the next year and you have 4 returning starters, you really don't. You have people who played a lot. That's why the Montana Grizzly backfield is stacked this year. Remember, college football, running backs do matter in college football. But yeah, in the NFL, even for 2 weeks, or someone just steps up for a week, it's like, wow, Russell Wilson did great, 18 for 22, 250. They think that every single game means that team has turned a corner. The consistency is what really matters. So you're going to see overreactions all the time. I stopped watching these sports highlight shows. I just couldn't stand it anymore. And then the fake debate, Stephen A. Smith stuff, where they just yell at each other. It gets good ratings. So, of course, they're going to do it. I remember a guy, I don't mention anyone's names anymore. I did today, and I shouldn't have. But there's a guy on ESPN radio who is like, everyone complains that we always talk about LeBron. We always talk about the Cowboys. And you know why? It gets ratings. So everything you see on there is because it gets ratings. You don't want to see about LeBron? Yes, you do. You want to hate on him. You want to defend him, whatever the case may be. You want to be a LeBron hater. So let's show the Lakers all the time, even though they've been irrelevant for years. They're not irrelevant. Look at the ratings. Cowboys are not irrelevant. Look at the ratings when we talk about them. If you picked apart Jacksonville like people love to do with the Cowboys, there would be no ratings. We're like, well, we don't care. It's Jacksonville. It's Atlanta. So what? But you get the same type of team, and then you have people showing stats of the last 4 years that are almost identical between Prescott and Mahomes, and I just laugh because, those have happened exactly same part of the game. Stats are made to crush us. You look at the stats of the last 4 years of Mr. Prescott and Mr. Mahomes, they're identical. Stats are made to crush us. So, read through things and know how to apply the situations that we put in front of you. When you're overreacting, that's just another emotion. You're like, that team looks awesome. When the Grizz win 38-0 against a top 25 team, I get excited. But doing it again, winning by 17 again, winning by 20 again, that's when you get more and more excited about, betting that team. They're putting people away. They're favored by 10 or less every time, and they're winning by 17. Then you might have something. But when you're reacting over one game, which is so easy to do because you have the whole week to praise on that team to the next week. And if they go into the week, into a bye, now you got 2 weeks of saying this is the best team ever. So really check your emotions because that's what overreaction is all about. I ask you to come join us at sportsatballs.com. Check out all the videos. We make 1 to 10 videos and just put them on every single day. There'll be a marathon day where I'll just I want to do a video for 20 hours and do it. We have fun videos on here too. So when you want to kind of take a break of like the grind of it all, we're going to have some stories for you. Don't worry. They're coming quick. They might be coming in the next video. All right. We'll see you in the next video. Come join us. Way more than 1% make money in sports betting. We'll see you in the next video, and let's make money.